Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors' impasse with Jonathan Kuminga could be resolved with a successful trade involving the Chicago Bulls. NBA rumors: Warriors sign Josh Giddey in exchange for Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga and the Warriors have been locked in a contract stalemate for weeks. The stalemate between the Golden State Warriors and Jonathan Kuminga doesn't seem to be subsiding anytime soon, and while the former lottery pick has until October 1st to either sign a $7.9 million qualifying offer from Golden State or agree to a new extension, surely both sides would like to get something done well before then. The Warriors have thus far been unwilling to give Kuminga the type of contract he's looking for, which is closer to the $30 million a year range. That's far above the $20 to $23 million a year range Golden State has been offering. But perhaps another option could make both the Warriors and Kuminga happy in the long run. According to Jake Fisher, the Warriors have registered interest in Bulls restricted free agent Josh Giddey, who similarly is looking for a higher payday than what Chicago is offering. Fisher reports that the Warriors would be interested in a Giddey for Kuminga swap, depending on how the machinations would go. Trading for Giddey, who is searching for a similar contract as Kuminga, would certainly be a bit of a slap in the face to the 7th overall pick in the 2021 draft. It would signal that the Warriors value what Giddey could bring to the team over Kuminga, who has struggled to find a consistent role within Steve Kerr's system over the years. Kuminga views himself as someone who can be an all-star, though within Golden State's system there hasn't been much opportunity for him to reach that goal. Fisher also noted that up to this point, the Bulls have shot down any calls about a potential sign-and trade involving Giddey, so clearly Chicago isn't itching to move on from him. The Bulls have long been rumored as an interested team in Kuminga, but if it means losing Giddey, it sounds like there wouldn't be a deal there. There's also the fact that it was recently reported by the San Francisco Standard's Tim Kawakami that the Warriors don't plan on trading Kuminga this summer. If that's the case, then it could mean a resolution of some sort is in sight. Perhaps the Warriors come a bit closer to the deal Kuminga is wanting, or maybe he decides to bet on himself and sign the qualifying offer, which would make him an unrestricted free agent next summer with the freedom to choose his next team. Either way, it sounds as though this situation is still fluid between Kuminga and the Warriors. NBA Insider believes Jonathan Kuminga's contract situation could see a resolution. Jonathan Kuminga's contract situation has taken up a majority of the headlines for the Golden State Warriors, but there could be a way to solve the issue for both parties involved. Kuminga is a restricted free agent currently, and has been seeking a lucrative deal. Additionally, teams such as the Sacramento Kings have touched base about trading for the young forward. Last season, Kuminga averaged 15.3 points and 4.6 rebounds per game in 47 appearances. However, his playing time and role in the rotation have been inconsistent under head coach Steve Kerr, leading to some animosity from Kuminga. NBA insider Jake Fisher believes that there is a way to resolve this contract conflict, giving Kuminga a deal with a player option. I think that Jonathan Kuminga's side would take this 1+1 situation with Golden State, this 2-year, $45 million offer that's been on the table if he were to get a player option in year 2, he said. But I was told yesterday from various sources that Golden State is going to be holding firm that the second year is going to be a team option, and that's kind of where the staring contest is at. The Warriors won't just let Kuminga walk for nothing. Despite the inconsistent playing time, the 22-year-old has still shown flashes of a potential star player in the making, which the team can't afford to lose. Nonetheless, the contract dispute between Kuminga and the Warriors will be one of the team's biggest obstacles this offseason, which they hope is resolved sooner rather than later. Warriors urged to land former top 5 pick in bold trade idea. The Golden State Warriors need to add complementary pieces around their 4-time NBA champion and future Hall of Famer Stephen Curry before the 2025-26 season tips off. While Curry, Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler will aim to lead Golden State on another championship run, the rotation still carries plenty of question marks. The Warriors' much-debated 2-timeline approach paid off in 2022 with a title, but the roster is now in a place where it could use another young piece capable of winning both now and in the future. One potential name? Jaden Ivey. Why the Warriors could target Jaden Ivey? According to ClutchPoint's RB Hayek, the Detroit Pistons' former number 5 overall pick is on the trading block, a development that would have been unthinkable not long ago. Hayek noted that Detroit's lack of size hurt them against the New York Knicks and that the team has learned how to play without him thanks to depth pieces like Karis LeVert. Dean Simon of the Sporting News recently floated a scenario where Golden State could make a play for Ivey, suggesting a package built around Brandon Podziemski and another young asset. Ivey's fit and what it could cost. Ivey, 23, was in the middle of a breakout campaign last season before a fractured fibula on January 1 ended his year early. In just 30 games, he posted career highs of 17.6 points, 4.1 rebounds, and 4.0 assists while shooting an impressive 40.9% from three. His burst, agility, and above-the-rim finishing have always been there, but 2024-25 brought a more polished, controlled version of his game, one that could fit seamlessly alongside Curry in the Warriors' backcourt. The challenge? Price tag. Ivey's talent, contract, and age make him an expensive get. But if Detroit is truly open to moving him and willing to consider a deal for multiple young contributors, Golden State could at least make an intriguing call. For a team searching for consistent scoring and athleticism on the perimeter, Ivey checks both boxes. It's far from certain the Pistons would pull the trigger, but if the opportunity presents itself, this is the type of swing that could reshape the Warriors' present and future. Stunning Josh Giddey trade will deal crushing blow to Warriors guard. The 22-year-old won't want this to go down. A season full of nothing but speculation and reporting has continued for the Golden State Warriors this week, including a new twist that has the franchise linked to a trade for restricted free agent Josh Giddey according to NBA insider Jake Fisher. While Giddey makes some sense in the Warrior system as a high IQ, elite-level ball handler and playmaker, actually acquiring the Australian point guard would be quite stunning given the complications surrounding a double sign-on trade involving two free agents that are impacted by base year compensation rules. If Golden State were to pull it off, which would include sacrificing at least one of Buddy Hield or Moses Moody, then it would deal a crushing blow to Brandon Podziemski and his dreams of becoming a star with the franchise. Warriors trading for Josh Giddey would be bad news for Brandon Podziemski. Despite becoming the solidified starting shooting guard for Steve Kerr after the All-Star break, and shooting nearly 44% from three-point range during that period, Podziemski's role at the Warriors is far from set in stone entering training camp and preseason. Giddey is just the latest in a string of guards that Golden State have been linked to this offseason, many of which would or could have wrenched a starting spot away from the former 19th overall pick. The Warriors expressed interest in Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal before they signed elsewhere, while the franchise is expected to sign DeAnthony Melton and potentially Seth Curry as well once Jonathan Kuminga's situation is resolved. Along with reporting the Giddey news, Fisher also reiterated that Golden State retains interest in veteran point guard Malcolm Brogdon. It doesn't bode overly well for Podziemski, yet he'd feel comfortable about retaining the starting two-guard role ahead of Seth, Curry, Brogdon and Melton at least while the latter makes his early returns from a torn ACL suffered last November. However, Giddey would be a different conversation. The Warriors would be bringing the 22-year-old in on a $20+ million per year deal at an absolute minimum, while there's no way he'd leave his job security at the Chicago Bulls without a guaranteed starting spot in the Bay. That would push Podziemski back into a bench role, and though he could remain valuable in such a spot, it's not necessarily conducive to becoming the player he envisages to be in his continued development. Then you have the contract side of things where Podziemski will be extension eligible next offseason. Not only would a bench role likely decrease his financial value, but Golden State would also be asking themselves if they can pay big money to all three of Stephen Curry, Giddey, and Podziemski by the time the 2027-28 season rolls around. The Warriors will believe they have time to figure that out over the next 2 years, but Podziemski doesn't particularly have that benefit particularly after seeing the fate that restricted free agents have found themselves in this offseason. Giddey might be able to provide significant impact and make the Warriors better next season and beyond, but it would only be human nature for Podziemski to secretly hope that these reports are nothing but only preliminary interest without going further. Warriors to meet Lakers on opening night of 2025-26 NBA season. The countdown for the start of the 2025-26 NBA season is officially underway. The first bits of the 2025-26 NBA season are beginning to leak, and the Golden State Warriors are set to be featured early. According to Shams Charania of ESPN, the Warriors will travel to Hollywood to meet LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and the Los Angeles Lakers in the nightcap on the opening night of the 2025-26 season. The opening night festivities will take place on the new edition of NBA on NBC on October 21st. Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets will meet the reigning champion Oklahoma City Thunder on ring night to start the season, per Charania. The Warriors and Lakers will end the opening night doubleheader. The Lakers beat the Warriors 3 out of 4 times last season, with Golden State's last win coming in April with a 123-116 victory. Steph Curry and Brandon Podziemski combined for 65 points to put away Doncic and James in their final meeting of the regular season.